It says you are live. Pretty good. Well, today's reading is by or from Reverend Dr. Christian Sorensen. He's the spiritual leader. He's the senior minister at Seaside Center for Spiritual Living. I know the center pretty well because when I was in practitioner training, I went there on several occasions, and then I went there another time to help with a retreat. So pretty familiar with it, actually. And I know Reverend Christian Sorensen somewhat. Reverend Christina Tillotson is the person I knew best from there. So anyway, but he's been around the system a long time. Actually, he grew up in Science of Mind. His parents knew earnest homes, so he had a lot of good pedigree there. He was, let me see, Seaside Center for Spiritual Living in Encinitas, California. And yeah, he got into his own church at the age of 22 years old. So he was the youngest person ever to get into the pulpit, I guess. At least that's what I'm told. What else does he say? He says, oh, September, is it September? Yeah, it's September 20, no, it's May 2021. May 2021 is when he wrote this stuff. He actually quoted from Thich Nhat Hanh to begin with. Many people are alive, but don't touch the miracle of being alive. Many people are alive, but don't touch the miracle of being alive. So that was pretty good. So anyway, getting on with the story here. Honestly, anyway, go to the divine, or go to God unconditionally. Honestly, if you're given the choice between Armageddon or tea, you don't say what kind of tea. That's by Neil Gaiman. He's an English writer. He was influenced by a whole bunch of people. Stephen King, Terry Pratchett, who I know from a lot of science fantasy stuff. And actually, it just dawned on me, where are we? Actually, I'm actually trying to get my screen back here. Oh, yeah. Oh, no. Where are we? Here we are. And then it dawned on me why his name was really familiar, because I actually when I was in Europe a couple of years ago, I bought a book by him, and it's on Norse mythology by Neil Gaiman. So I thought, yeah, his name seems really familiar. That's why I bought a book. I bought a book on Norse mythology by him, because I was interested in Norse mythology at that time. Well, getting on with my reading here. Second quote is from Ernest Holmes. He says, "We do not have to worry about the integrity of the universe. We don't have to tell the divine what to do. The divine has already done it for us, but we have failed to accept it because now, quote, we see through a glass darkly," unquote. And that last quote there was actually from the Apostle Paul, believe it or not. And this is Reverend Christian. He says, "When you say you want to know the divine, do you also want to know in advance what that divine experience is going to be? Reaching out to the beautiful, awe-inspiring, ineffable essence of all life is inspired by believing that somehow this will at least be a notch above your present life experience. Yeah, do you hit the brakes because you want the details before you surrender to the possibilities? In other words, do you take your meditations far enough? Imagine you've not had anything to eat for days, and you're literally starving to death, and you're offered something to eat. Do you say, 'What kind of food do you have?' Or do you say, 'Oh, God, thank you'? At this point, your desire for what you like best is not relevant. Food is what will save your life. If you have to pre-qualify the divine and set up the parameters for your divine encounter, you will have just locked yourself into your known world. You've got to go to the divine unconditionally. You know there's something more than what you now know, but you got to let go of the conditions around your divine, or your idea of the divine, if you want to cross the threshold and enter into the portal from your known realm. If you do, you just might find yourself in the realm of unlimited possibilities. Just by being in the God frequency, quote unquote, without wants, physical healing can happen. Abundance flows, relationships become fulfilling, life expressions are joyous, deep peace will be yours. Unshakable security becomes your platform, and all this is only the beginning if you enter without expectations. You know, a lot of us grew up with an idea of what God was like, and we put limits on the divine just because of what we've been taught. But the other thing that we were taught, which is in total contrast to that, is that the divine is omnipotent, all-powerful, omnipresent, present everywhere, omniscient, all-knowing. So if this is true, and I for one believe it is true, then when we try to put limits on the divine, we're actually trying to shape the divine in the human image, which is what we've done throughout human history. So instead of going in with an open mind and just accepting that it's something that we can't put words to, we start to define what we think God looks like or the divine looks like. And this is where we start to come apart at the seams, as it were. But when we go into meditation, into an encounter with the divine, without any preconceived notions of what that's going to be like, then we experience something beyond our present human experience. That's the best way I can put it. And like Reverend Christian Sorensen said, when you get on that divine frequency, then all things become possible. Lots of things become possible. And there's lots and lots of ways of expressing that. You know, prayer is one form that's been taught to us. And Ernest Holmes said, it really doesn't matter what kind of prayer it is, providing that your belief in it is strong enough. So when your belief is strong enough in anything, wonderful things happen. When your belief is that your prayer will be answered, believe me, in some way, shape, or form, if your belief is strong enough, it will be answered. And it doesn't have to go to a formula. You don't even have to have words to express. So that's all I really got to say about this. I go to the divine for the divine and find my world filled with good. I go to the divine for the divine and find my world filled with good. If you remember, you know, Jesus, who is our great example, or at least mine, about, a couple of billion people around the planet. Then when you look at him, he never had any doubts. He just knew. And it's when we get in that flow of knowingness that wondrous things happen. And it's when we go into an expression of the divine with an open mind that we let lots and lots of good stuff come in. And just go read the mystics of all kinds and all ages. Christian mystics, Islamic mystics, Jewish mystics, Hindu mystics, Buddhist mystics. You'll find if you read through all the stuff there, they're all telling you the same thing, that at the end of the day, what the divine is love expressing as life. So that's it. I'll be back tomorrow at 9. Reverend Lisa will be on tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. And I am finding out that my software is not as good as I thought it was. It's not transmitting to all the places I thought it was. But having found that out meant I could do something about it, and I could go in and change things. So hopefully we're getting rain in the next week. It was supposed to rain yesterday. It didn't. It's supposed to rain today. So far it hasn't. But one of these days it will rain. We'll get lots of rain again. It will be good. Cool off. If you're in a place where there's no air conditioning, please take it easy and try and find somewhere cool. Stay hydrated and Don't go outside if you don't have to, if it's really hot. Be careful. And then when you're careful about yourself and you're strong enough, you can take care of others. So the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Everywhere we are, God is, and always will. Namaste.